Like select your chapters. Yeah, first go through chapters. How many of you? You're all here?
With 9. Right now.
9.
Yeah. Yeah.
The meeting will come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Barbagallo is absent. Mr. Searchia is absent. Dr. Greeny? Here. Mr. McHugh?
Here.
Mr. Murphy is absent. Ms. Nico? Here. Mr. Franzen?
Here. In compliance with the sunshine laws of the state of New Jersey, at least 48 hours notice of this meeting, stating time, date, location, has been sent to the record, Ridgewood News, Wyckoff Library, Township Clerk, and posted on the district's website. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's good to see everybody in person and see faces that we haven't seen in a couple of years. At this time, what I would like to do is turn this over to the middle school girls championship basketball team to lead us all in the flag salute. Ladies.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. I would like, please, Mrs. Stacy Linsenbold and Coach Jim Charlo to come to the microphone, and they're going to present our girls' championship team with their awards, and also the middle school character awards for this month.
Good evening. I'm so proud to present our February Character Awards for our students who have exemplified empathy, compassion, kindness, and inclusivity. For Team 1, Chase Lai. For Team 2, Jack Dextrace. For Team 3, Meredith Jacobs. For Team 4, Anthony Bono. Team 5, Aiden Mock. For Team 6, Emmeline Chu. Team 7, Ryan Brock. For Team 8, David Gerskowitz. 9, Hannah Savino. For Team 10, in 6th grade, Charlie Aaronstein. For Team 10, in 7th grade, Theo Herman. For Team 10, in 8th grade, Elizabeth Key. And here tonight from winning January's Team 10 8th grade award, Isabella Deepak. Congratulations to all our recipients.
Thank you, members of the board, for inviting us and honoring our girls' basketball championship this year. Our girls worked really, really hard. From day one, we set out our goal for the first practice to win the championship, and that they did. So I would like to call them up one by one. Emily Carollo. Ashley DeLeo. Emily Dyer. Camden Epstein. Grace Gilbert. Our birthday girl today, Trinity Horn. Tony Burnett. Ellie Sanborn. Grace Saxton. And Maddie Saxton. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. We hope to see you again next year. Right. So Now we have a presentation by Dan Coughlin, who is going to talk to us about his Eagle Scout project. And you want to use the microphone or?
Hello? Here you go. Hi, I'm Daniel Coughlin. I'm working on my Eagle Scout project. It's at the Coolidge Elementary School. I'm fixing up the path. It serves as an evacuation and nature path. Like a lot of kids go through it. I'll show you in a couple pictures that it's been kind of run down lately. Like storms have been hitting it. A lot of people have walked on it. It's become unsafe in some parts, and like it could look better. Here's some pictures and like brief explanations, like runoff, stones showing, big boulders, podiums that used to show like what leaves were, but are now just like what they look like. And then, that one right there has been worked out of the ground. I don't know what they do with that, but this is going to be a big project, but I hope to get a lot of people to join in. It'll like help out a lot of people in the community, and it'll help out the kids, especially. As I said before, it's a fire evacuation pad, so if need be, it would be better if this was a safer, less like tricky to have hazardous place. You can see lots of falling, also not good for kids if lots of falling all over the place. Here's my plan. I said how to do this. I'm on the present to the Board of Ed right there. That's it. First week I'm cleaning the path, breaking leaves, cleaning the blocks, move them to the side because they can be used later. Week two, I'm going to move rocks, fill areas that with crushed stone, like the big pits, big muddy areas, full of rocks and dirt. The third week, I'm going to spread wood chips and line the areas with the rock that I've just moved recently, and then make the path usable. It might not be the whole path that we'll work on. It's probably just the main line branching paths if I get to it. Thank you.
Dan, I think this is a great project, and I've seen this, so you're right, it is indeed. When it gets approved by the Boy Scouts Council, can you let us know so that we can probably post something on our website to get volunteers to help? Are there other students that would be good to help?
I have a lot of students willing to help. Yeah. I just recently got approval, so.
Oh, you did get approval?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's great. So any idea when they're all ready to start?
Probably next month. All goes well.
Because we've had some really good projects done by Eagle Scouts over the years in different areas of the district, which I'm sure you're aware of having done the research. And it's a great give back to the district, so we appreciate that. But the other thing that's wonderful, every time that we have these presentations, we really see a wonderful example of a student that's gone through our system that is ready to give back to the community. And it reflects on you, reflects on your parents as well. And I always can't wait to see what happens with you 5, 10, 15 years down the road, because our Eagle Scouts are usually our most successful students and most successful members of the community. So on behalf of the board, thank you so much for this. We really appreciate it. When it's done, if you can come back and show us some pictures, I think that would really be great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Sure. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go to the next piece of the agenda, and that's communication on agenda items. For those of you who don't come to our board meetings often, we have two portions of the board meeting where people can offer comments on the agenda or on anything. And the first part right now is on the agenda only. So I ask if you'd like to address the board. Because the heat is on, it's loud, so you might want to use the microphone, and then just state your name and address if you'd like to address the board on anything on the agenda at this point. So would anyone like to address the board at this time?
I'm Maggie Wyckoff. I'd like to comment on personnel under B. What I'd like to do is acknowledge the exemplary career of Mrs. Jill Stover. She's always been a model teacher, and Mary and I were fortunate to have 3 of our children who has had her as a teacher, including our son Jimmy, fondly remembers his first grade teacher, and Miss Moran, she was in those days, her first year teaching at Washington School, which was 28 years ago. She's definitely one of his favorites, and I just want to publicly state that we fondly too appreciate all that she's done for all the children through all her many years. We wish her all the best in the time.
Great, thank you. Would anybody else like to address the board at this time on agenda items? If not, we'll go into reports. Board president's report, I'm going to be very conservative this time and not steal thunder because it's some wonderful stuff that the superintendent's going to talk about, so I'll pass on the things that I would mention. Mrs. Nico, Finance Committee.
Yes, good evening. The Finance Committee met last week, and we discussed the following items. The 2022-2023 budget. On March 10th, we received an increase of state aid, which I believe Pat is going to elaborate on, in the amount of $435,000, which was a very big benefit to us in our budget planning for the 2022-2023 year. We also discussed the Chapter 44. The health benefits explanation is currently under review by the NJDOE. New guidance that was just presented to us that needs to be evaluated by NJDOE regarding the health Chapter 44 expenditures. We will also need a special board meeting this month to adopt a tentative budget. I believe Pat's going to circulate some dates. We will have our public budget board hearing on April 25th. And the Region 1 school bus contract is currently under review, which does not look promising in terms of expenses, but we will manage it with our budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Nico, Mr. McHugh, Facilities Committee.
Yes, if you'll indulge me for a moment, I just want to do one update on the policy committee, which did not meet this past month, but one policy did come through with an update. It's policy 1648.11, the COVID-19 health and safety, which was just updated to reflect the removal of the state mandate on masks in schools. As for the facilities committee, we met on March 2nd. Really one major topic that we discussed related to the summer HVAC and window project here at Eisenhower. During the development of the plumbing specs, the engineer discovered that the current ventilation system in several of the rooms that are being changed run through the existing windows, which creates a little bit of an issue for us. The original plan had the HVAC, the univent, the univents being replaced in the summer, and then the windows overnight in the fall due to the longer lead time on the windows. The new plan, several of the ventilators need to be hooked up at the same time that the windows are installed. So 4 of the rooms will be completed this summer. Those are the ones that don't have any interaction between the ventilation system and the windows. 3 rooms in guidance will be done over the Christmas break. And 7 of the classrooms will be completed during the school year, which will require 2 classrooms at a time being relocated during for a 2-week period. So the committee and Pat and Dr. Postma met, talked about what the options were. We did consider delaying the project until 2023, but the cost and labor uncertainty is a major concern, and many districts are pursuing HVAC projects right now, which is only going to put some pressure on the HVAC manufacturers to get those out to us, and we're worried about the costs going up on that. So you have pressure on HVAC manufacturers to keep up with demand, availability of contractors with said demand given the federal money that's been made available to districts, and the cost of labor and materials. So the committee unanimously decided to agree to move forward in the 2022 fiscal year. So the bid advertisement is done. The bid opening is scheduled for March 30th. With the intent to award a bid at the April Board of Ed meeting. And the committee was, reiterated to the administration to do everything that they can to minimize disruptions. So I don't know if we want to have any discussion around that, but that's really the big issue for facilities this month.
Thank you, Mr. McDew.
I just have a quick question. So it's going to be 2 classrooms disrupted for 2 weeks at a time?
Right, so theoretically, if everything worked perfectly, it would be 6 weeks where you had 2 classrooms offline. 2 different classrooms each 2-week period.
Each 2, thank you.
Hopefully starting in November when we expect delivery of the windows.
All right, and then the next is the Human Resources Committee. The report on that is we do have some significant retirements this year. One was mentioned already by Mr. Madigan, and I can echo his comments, having had a child who had missed out for as well. But we have 2 other retirements, so we wish those folks well. And then we did get a notice from the Wyckoff Administrators Association to begin contract negotiations, which I did share. So we should schedule those soon. And then there's obviously another bigger human resources thing, but I'll let that go in your report. That's it. Any questions on that? Okay. Dr. Postma, Superintendent's report.
Good evening. So our enrollment as of February 28th at Coolidge, we have 300, which represents an increase of 2 over last month. Lincoln, 326, which remained flat. Sycamore, 350, which is an increase of 3 over last month. Washington, 370, an increase of 2. Eisenhower, 647, remained flat. And our out-of-district remained flat at 24. So the total enrollment as of February 28th is 2,017 for a net change of an increase of 7. The kindergarten registration is underway as of early February. And right now the total for kindergarten for incoming in the fall is 189. And of course that's a number that will change. But we do encourage any families with incoming kindergartners who will be 5 years old by October 1st to go ahead and register so we can effectively plan at each school. The current kindergarten enrollment, just for comparison purposes, is 246. To report out on suspensions for the month, 4 students at the middle school received a 1-day in-school suspension for inappropriate behavior. In better news, we have the Eisenhower Middle School principal search is complete. And I am proud to announce that after an extensive search process, I am recommending tonight on the agenda Mr. Brian Fendrick for the position of Eisenhower Middle School principal for the 2022-2023 school year. We had over 60 qualified applicants for the EMS principal position, and the search committee made up of teachers, parents, and administrators interviewed 14 of those applicants last month. The pool was then reduced to 4 semifinalists and then 2 finalists before selecting Mr. Fandrick as the top candidate to be recommended for the position. Mr. Fandrick is currently an assistant principal at Wayne Valley High School and also the school's department supervisor for science and STEM. He has served as an administrator for a combined 10 years in both Wayne and Westwood, and prior to that was a biology teacher at Bergen County Tech Schools and a curriculum developer for the New Jersey Center for Teaching and Learning. Mr. Fandrick holds a Bachelor of Science in Biology from Columbia University, a master's degree in educational leadership from Fairleigh Dickinson, and a second master's degree in learning design and technology from Purdue University. Mr. Fandrick has accepted the offer for the EMS principal position, pending board approval tonight, with great enthusiasm, and is looking forward to getting to know the teachers, staff, students, and families of Wyckoff. The principal position begins for him on July 1st, and we will plan to schedule a meet and greet prior to that time. I'd like to extend a big thank you to the members of the search committee for their time and input in this important process. And also many thanks to Mrs. Corso for her excellent leadership and sincere commitment to EMS students and staff during this interim school year. And Mr. Fandrick is here tonight with his wife, Michelle, and his son, Ben. So we have some school highlights from our principals as well that I'd like to share. And the first is that Read Across America Week, a nationally designated week devoted to a celebration of reading, began on Monday, February 28th. Thank you to our media specialists for planning a fun and engaging week. Events included outdoor libraries and book walks, character parades, school-wide Drop Everything and Read, and book giveaways, as well as author visits. And the activities really continue through the whole month of March at our elementary schools in particular, but this was at all 5 schools. Also, Coolidge School physical education teacher Jordan Patton has initiated a leadership academy for 5th grade students to take part in during selected recess periods. And the Leadership Academy is an opportunity to participate in activities and discussions that will shape students as leaders and allow them to be their personal best version of a leader. Sycamore School's spring concert for grades K and 1 was held this month under the direction of their music teacher, Mr. Potosnak, and the singers did a wonderful job, and the event was well attended by parents. At George Washington School, Mrs. Flanagan has been working with each of the 5th grade classes in her tech classes on doing special news broadcasts called Washington's World, using the equipment donated from the Wyckoff Education Foundation this past summer. You can check them out on YouTube. 5th grade students wrote their own scripts, films, and edited the videos themselves. At Lincoln, as part of a recent PTO fundraiser, the Lincoln Bedtime Read-Alouds event was held, where Mr. Lee, the principal, and media specialist Mrs. Hustage and reading specialist Mrs. Barbieri selected 3 lucky winners and visited each winning family in the evening to do an evening read-aloud on their lawn. At Eisenhower Middle School, 2 students were awarded an honorable mention for their documentary project from the NJECC, and they will be invited to next month's board meeting. That's Henry Petrie and Declan Tosney, under the advisement of their teachers, Mark DeBlock and Angelo Bonavitacola. And Eisenhower's resident guinea pig, Zeke, is doing well, if anybody was wondering. That's a new thing for the school here, brought in by our new school psychologist, Mrs. Coleman. And she brought in Zeke, the guinea pig. Students enjoy visiting him in her office, and families have volunteered to take him home on weekends. This was based on a lot of research, so this is really helpful for kids, especially now, social and emotional. I met Zeke. It's really a pleasure. If you wanted to meet him, let me know. Our spring sports are starting up at mid-April after the spring break. That's softball, baseball, and track here at the middle school. And also the school musical, Into the Woods, will be performed here on March 24th and 25th, directed by Mrs. Savory. And the grade 6 Frost Valley overnight environmental education trip is scheduled for the end of this month. And the final school highlight here at EMS is that Miss Demona, the home economics teacher, held a career day for her students last month, and speakers included a preschool teacher, a home inspector, a cameraman for films, a barista, and middle school principal, Mrs. Corso, and more. It was a great opportunity to students to learn about a variety of jobs and expand their horizons for future career decisions and life choices. For agenda items I'd like to highlight tonight, in addition to the appointment of Mr. Fandrick, are the generous gifts and donations from Polar Education, the 30 Polar watches. These are fitness watches, and actually it was a contest entered by Miss Patton, the Coolidge phys ed teacher, and Mrs. D. St. Pierre, and all of the phys ed teachers entered for the contest, I believe, at a recent physical education convention. And then they were selected as winners, and so we have these 30 fitness watches that are going to be first piloted at Coolidge School. And then Coolidge School PTO donated an audio system for the multi-purpose room, and also Charlie and the Chocolate Factory books and makerspace items. And we thank Washington School PTO for the Media Center book cart and the audio cat systems, which are the classroom-wide PA systems. And then Eisenhower School PTO donations that are on the agenda today include gym and recess equipment, lunch for all students, Valentine's Day gifts for students and teachers, Positivity Day ice cream treats, and the bus fee for the Model UN trip that's coming up later this spring. Finally, just to highlight on the agenda, personnel, as was mentioned by Mr. Madigan, we have a few retirements. Jill Stauffer, grade 3, Washington School, Nancy Hahn, grade 1, Coolidge School, and Karen Riley, Child Study Team Secretary. We thank each of them for their dedication to the district and wish them the best. And we will have a retirement recognition at the end of the school year as well. Appointments on the agenda are Mr. Brian Fandrick for Principal, Eisenhower Middle School, Ms. Tara Timpone, School Social Worker for Washington and Lincoln Schools, Deanna Walker, a leave replacement for kindergarten at Sycamore. And just going back a moment, Ms. Tara Timpone for the social worker position. This is the position that Polar Wickoff held. And Ms. Timpone has a BA in psychology from Montclair State and a master's in social work from Hunter College. And Deanna, the lead replacement at kindergarten Sycamore, holds a BA in early childhood from William Patterson University. Also on the agenda are Jennifer Gareffa, lead replacement position for grade 2 Sycamore, holds a bachelor's in elementary ed and English from Kane University, and a master's in communications from Seton Hall. And finally, Ashley Campius for a lead replacement special education position at Lincoln, holds a bachelor's in elementary and special education from St. Joseph's University, a master's in education from the College of New Jersey, and formerly taught grade 3 at Lincoln School back from 2006 to 2012. So we welcome her back. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you, Dr. Postma. I hope that you'll bring Zeke to the next board meeting. There we go. All right, so Mrs. White here, Business Administrator's report. So, Bobby.
Thank you, Mr. Franson. As Ms. Nico reported earlier, we're receiving $435,000 additional state aid over the current year. We're thrilled with the news as we are experiencing significant increases in several areas next year: custodial, energy, and there's a lot of uncertainty about what will happen with transportation, just with the cost of gas. So this is really good news as we're trying to be mindful of the taxpayers and, you know, since they're dealing with inflationary pressures as well. So taking all of that information, the state aid came to us 2 weeks late, so now we'll be compiling the rest of the budget and preparing the packet for the county. So originally it was planned that we would adopt the tentative budget tonight, but because of the news being delivered to us 2 weeks late, we'll need a special meeting. So the 28th, it has to be at the county, so we were looking at if we could maybe get a quorum on the 23rd, which is a Wednesday. Yeah. So we're here, we have a quorum, so okay, so we could do it at the same time, 6:30, and we know that we're having at least 4 people. And all we're planning for that night is just the adoption of the tentative. We wouldn't be doing a full presentation, that would be at the public hearing, but it would talk about it and, the percentages and the tax increase, et cetera, some of the details. All right, so we will advertise that for March 23rd at 6:30. Okay, that concludes my report.
That's usually in this room, or is that in the board office?
We could have it wherever, because it's really only going to be the one item.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, wherever, if there's a change of location, that'll be on the website.
Thank you, Mrs. Okay, action items. I'll entertain a motion to move the consent agenda.
Yes.
That's moved by Mrs. Nico. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McHugh. Any questions, concerns, or comments on any of the items for discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Greenie? Yes. Mr. McHugh?
Yes.
Ms. Nico?
Yes.
Mr. Franson?
Yes. As I promised earlier, there will be a second time to have the floor open for public communication, and now is that time. If anybody would like to address the board at this time, I suggest you use the microphone just because of the wind or the noise. Would anybody like to address the board at this time? Just ask you to state your name and concern.
My name is Brian Fandrick, I'm the acquainted principal of Eisenhower Middle School. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Postma, thank you to the hiring committee, thank you to the board, filled with gratitude tonight, and just really looking forward to getting started and becoming part of your community. It's just what's sad. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and thank you for coming tonight and bringing your family. It was a lot, so we appreciate that. There is a hazing process. So the first official board meeting, once you do become, you do the flag salute, and then you sing the national anthem. So that is something that.
So we'll get on the pipes.
There you go. I'm kidding, of course. So anyway, thank you. We welcome you to the Wyckoff community, and I think that you will see that the staff, the students, parents, and then the community members really do come together for the district here. It's a great community. So thank you. Would anybody else like to address the board at this time? If not, we'll go into new business. Is there any new business before us? Any board members the board members that are here, does anybody have any new business? Okay. So for the planning, we just went over that date, March 23 at 6:30 p.m. And it will more than likely be here, but either way, we will notify via the website and the normal way that we notify our board meetings. And then after that is the April 25, which is the tentative public budget hearing. The board does have an executive session now that we have to go into, which is discussion of legal and personnel matters. Is there action to be taken after? There'll be no action taken after that meeting. So thank you all for coming. It's good to see people in person and without a mask. So thank you all for coming tonight. Have a good night. Public meeting will be adjourned.
Oh, great.